guys, welcome back. I'm here with another patch preview for the patch 25.22. We have some nerfs and some adjustments and a lot of system buffs and a few nerfs as well, mainly for runes. So as always, I'm gonna focus only on the champion changes, which is related to jungle. So let's start with Talon, who will receive a jungle nerf this patch. His passive modifier, his passive damage will go down from 1.1 to 1.0. This only means his clear will be obviously slower than before, which I don't mind, and I think this nerf alone won't be enough to destroy or get rid of Talon jungle from the high ranks, because his clear is still insanely good and he is one of the best assassin junglers right now. I can only recommend playing him even after these nerfs, but we will see if it will be enough. My prediction is it won't be, and you can still play Talon jungle if you want to. The next champion will be Skarner. As I said in my previous video, Riot decided to give themselves more time basically and delay the Skarner changes. This is a good thing because looking at the changes, I actually like this. His AD growth will go up by 1, his Q bonus AD ratio will go up by 10%, and his E bonus AD ratio from 0% will go up to 120%, which is massive. On top of that, his Q cooldown from 13 to 7 seconds after first cast will go down to 8 to 4 seconds after last offensive action. His ult cast time will go up by a little bit as well. And I actually really like this change, and this can actually mean the Skarner jungle is coming back slightly, because at his current state, he is the worst jungler in the game. I believe he's sitting at 47%, 46% win rate, which is really bad for a champion like Skarner, who is basically easy to play, somewhat easy to execute as well. And after these changes, I wouldn't be surprised if he would reach once again like a 49% win rate or so. So basically a 2 to 3% win rate increase after these changes. But I would say that even after these changes, he will see another buff, and I really hope that Riot will be smart about those changes, because they can break this champion once again and make him a pick or ban. Most likely he will slowly become one of the best junglers in pro play once again. Skarner mains should be happy about these changes. Next up, and the final champion change of this patch, will be to Volibear. His base armor will go up by 4, his base AD will go up by 2, and his Q minimum movement speed will be decreased by 2%, and E total damage cap to minions and monsters will go down from 650 to 190 to 650 based on level, plus 70% of your AP. So the base armor change is really nice, and the base AD buff is really nice as well. They are trying to compensate Volibear top with this, because base armor, even though it helps him in the jungle as well, but it won't affect him that much, in my opinion, in terms of gear, in terms of clear, because he is already full HP. I'm not sure how this will affect his jungle clear actually, because he obviously gets some base AD back as well. I think this is still a net positive change even for Volibear jungle, at least this part. And then the Q minimum movement speed is pretty much a coin flip. You either break this champion if you touch his Q movement speed, or make him super broken. So he's basically either useless, either super broken with this, and I don't like that Riot is actually changing his Q movement speed values, because this is a nerf to Volibear jungle. Even though I agree that Volibear jungler needs some nerfs, he can always go Deadman's Plate and he will still be insanely fast, and pretty much no one will be able to kite this guy. But this is the big problem with his movement speed on Q. If it's too much, he becomes unkiteable. He will either run you down, either won't be able to catch you ever. So it's really interesting, and I like that they only went with 2% instead of changing him more drastically. But going with Q cooldown change would have been the safest route for Riot, so we will see. But this is overall a nerf to Volibear jungle, and E total damage cap to minions and monsters obviously will be changed as well. So Riot really wants to make Volibear top a more viable pick and make him slightly weaker in the jungle, which I can agree with, because in pretty much every tier list I make, he is easily one of the best jungler you can play in the lower ranks, and even after these changes, he probably will remain one of the best pick. So now let's go through the system buffs, and we have a lot of rune changes. First off, though, with cashback, you will receive 2% more gold after these buffs, because basically what cashback does, once you finish a legendary item, the cost of that legendary item, you get back 8% of the cost of that legendary item, which is nice, but from a jungle perspective, there is no reason for you to take this. If your champion is already taking inspiration secondary, you have zero reason to take this over taking free magical footwear, because that is just more useful from a jungle perspective, especially because you get 10 extra movement speed if you have magical footwear instead of just buying the basic boots. Then Guardian shield will go up. I guess, well, for supports this is a nice change, but it won't affect junglers at all. Halo Blaze changes, melee attack speed will go up by 20%, ranged attack speed is unchanged. So basically this is massive for melee champions, but if I think about melee champions who could take this rune and they are junglers, I can think of Echo only. If you haven't played Echo with Halo Blades yet, then just try it because it's super fun. Other junglers, well, let me know in the comments. I can't remember anyone else. I can't think of anyone else really right now. Legend Bloodline lifesteal per stack will go up by 0.05 and maximum lifesteal stack will go up to 6 from 5.25. Nice, I guess, but this is once again more like a laner buff, more like an AD carry buff basically. The champions who prefer lifesteal. And from a jungle perspective, I don't see a scenario really where you would take this on something like Grace, for example, over Electricity. At least that's my personal choice. I hate playing without Electricity on someone like Graves or someone like Kindred, but that's just me. Movement speed shard will go up by 0.5, which is nice, I guess, but still I wouldn't take this over the other shards depending on your champion. Maybe someone like Hecarim will take it now more often, but I still don't think so, even in his case. Nimbus Cloak, move speed based on summoner cooldown will go up by 1%, 3% and 5%. Nimbus Cloak is still S, at least that's my opinion. Some champions can use it, I guess, but generally they gonna avoid it because they have better options. Think of someone like Warwick, for example. Like Volatile Walking and Celerity on someone like Warwick is just much better, right, than taking Nimbus Cloak. But for laners, once again, it will be massive if you are playing like Phase Rush Garant top, then Nimbus Cloak will be nice for you, and you are playing with Ignite. Same thing goes for some mid laners. Tenacity Shard, slow resist will go up by 5%, and I still don't see how you would take this shard in the jungle. Honestly, I would still prefer taking HP, but we will see how this will affect the shard itself. Triple Tonic Elixir of Avarice gold will go up by 20, Elective Force will go up by 10 as well, but same thing like with Bloodline Shard, Bloodline Rune. If your champion was using Triple Tonic before, then your champion still can use Triple Tonic up to these buffs. Obviously, you will gain a little bit more from it, so it's nice. But if your champion wasn't using Triple Tonic before, then this won't make it good enough to actually swap and use this. Finally, we have Biscuits and Phase Rush. The minimum heal on Biscuits will go down, and max heal is still 2 times the minimum. You get like less HP. Well, I guess this will affect laners a little bit more, but from a jungle perspective, this is pretty much not relevant at all. And then lastly, Phase Rush, slow resist will go down by 25%. I feel bad for my friend Ion My Cigar because he's a Phase Rush enthusiast and he loves taking Phase Rush on Grave Jungle. This nerf is actually massive on phase rush. I would assume that people or like champions who are abusing phase rush right now will actually swap to a different rune after these changes, and I can see how my friend will go to Halo Blade's Graves after these changes, even though the ranged attack speed is unchanged on Halo Blades, but he used to love and used to play Halo Blade's Graves even before these changes. But now that phase rush is pretty much doomed. But yeah, pretty much this is the whole change we have for the next patch from a jungle perspective. We basically get some nerfs pretty much everywhere. We are not benefiting at all pretty much from the rune changes. Volibear will be a weaker jungler, Skarner will be massive after next patch in my opinion, so if you love Skarner then go for it, and Talon jungle will be weaker as well. Meanwhile, overall laners will become stronger in my opinion after these changes. So let me know in the comments what do you think. See you all in my next video. Peace.